We'll wait just a couple more minutes to fill the room before we start. In case you are new to this place, Restore Community
Yes,
website.
I'm new. Thank you for welcoming me. It's my first time to join Rest webinar.
You can listen now?
Yeah, welcome to Restore. It's your first time. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
as we wait until the other people come to the meeting, then we will show a video.
Do you hear the sound, Marina?
Yeah, perfectly.
Simply it's life. Without forest, without trees, no life will continue. So for me, it's life.
Oh, I could spin you one hell of a yarn. I could tell you about how waters once teemed with life and grasses rustled, parting for the bodies of big beasts and the nudge of small ones, and how we now often find ourselves
in silence. But by now, you know that story. So I'm going to keep it simple. And simply, I want to introduce you to Restore, a home for hope and collective action, a global community working to protect nature.
Because all I know, and I know for sure, is that if we don't protect biodiversity, we're in deep shape.
Coffee is one of the most industrialized, cultivated crops. And for me, it's important to show that there is another way. The more diversity we have, the more safe a system is. So you embed the farm in the forest, in an ecosystem that sustains itself. Yeah, to get that soul, again, we have to acknowledge that we need each other for growth. A human being, our communities can only grow in exchange with each other.
And there are hundreds of thousands of initiatives like this across our planet, led by local farmers, communities, and businesses.
Imagine a platform that allows us to see this entire movement, where we can engage with just the click of a button. A platform that not only allows you to help the movement, but to become a part of it. Because when you know exactly where your goods come from, you have the power to impact global restoration with every product you choose.
We have a chance to not only imagine, but to enact something different. This time we're in will be looked back on. So the real question is, what did you do?
Thank you so much, Mike, for this beautiful video. First, really nice to meet you, everyone, and thank you for being here. I am Estefania Morales from the Restore team. I am a regional engagement lead, same like my partner, Mike and Marina. So we are really happy you are here. Okay, we can start now. Thank you for joining this conversation, delving into the work of two restoration heroines and the outstanding organizations they work with. We will hear insights from Chochi Iturralde, calling in from Ecuador, and Amanda Fernandes from Brazil. Both will share about their collaborating reforestation efforts, as well as experience relative to gender issues. Both will share, yep, but before we start the conversation, we'd like to go through a few polls with you. So Mike will share the polls.
Yes. So we have just a few polls here. Welcome, Nelson. A first question. Can you see the question on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we would like to hear what your role is in our field of work in environmental action. What's your contribution? Got some responses coming in. Many seem to be implementing projects of some sorts. Okay, we'll just give it half more minute or so. And also, hopefully some people are still joining us. So majority is implementing projects. We have some doing research, some providing tools. It's nice distribution. Just a few, one person being a funder, but we have many more coming on in the platform. Okay, thank you for sharing that. We'll have another question for you before I think you can see all of the results. And bear with me 1 second. Now you should be able to see a second question. So relating to the topic of today, how your organization culture is, if you can share a bit about that. So we're seeing good cultures overall, I think. Good indicators by this poll. Some organizations are making some efforts.
Please,
Okay.
please, could we have the question again?
Yes, so the question is,
Yeah.
does your organization promote a culture that ensures gender balance? But you should see it on your screen. Are you seeing it on your screen?
Not yet.
Maybe you can let us know in the chat, Stefan.
All right.
Okay. Be sharing the results back with you. Thank you. It was removed. Sorry for that. Try to relaunch. No, but then I think we'll clear the existing results. So I'll just show you quickly what the question was, what some have answered, and feel free to answer in the chat. And we have one final question that you should all be seeing on the screen now. What do you think the movement is needing to thrive and to succeed?
increase grassroots engagement and empowerment, yeah.
Okay. More collaboration. I think we all agree. More grassroots engagement, empowerment, increased funding. It's a need we hear about very often. Yeah, I think this one you can select multiple. Should be one that you could select. Maybe you can only select one. But again, feel free to expand on the chat. We'd love to hear your experience and vision. But this is what most of you answered. More collaboration, more funding and resources are needed as well. And overall, grassroots empowerment, systemic inequalities also to some degrees need to be addressed. Okay, I think I'll hand it over to you again, Estefania, and to our dear guest speakers.
Thank you so much, Mike, for that pause. And now we would like to invite you into 5 minutes breakout room for a brief meet and greet. There won't be a moderator, so please take just a minute each others to introduce yourself, your passion, your work, to allow everyone time to speak. So we hope this sparks meaningful connections in a short time. So see you here in some moments.
Marina, are you creating the poll, the breakouts? Yes.
They are being assigned to different rooms. Stefania, Chochi seems not to be here. I think we can start with Amanda.
Okay. You know if she will connect?
I will try to find her phone number. We still
Yeah,
have some people unassigned as well. Could this be? Yeah.
For you who are still in this main room, you can accept the invite to go to the breakout room so that you can have a discussion with a little group.
Yeah, or maybe some people are driving, so they'll stay on. But let's start with Amanda, and I'm going to reach.
Yeah, I'm writing to her too. Darlington, I can't send you to 7 because it says you are already in group 7. Okay, now we gave 1 minute for all participants to be back to the main room, so they will be back soon.
Thank you, Marina.
You're welcome.
Hi all again. We are waiting some minutes for the others come back. I think we are here now with everyone, right, Marina? Yep. Okay, so we go to continue. So welcome back, everyone. I hope you had fun and enjoyed making some new connections in that breakout rooms. Now let's dive into our dialogue with our external guests. Well, Chochi is not here yet, but we go to start with Amanda Fernandes from Pacto pela Restauração de Mata Atlântica. We go to explore the vital role of women in the ecosystem restoration. So Amanda, you're there?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, so Amanda works in the Pacto pela Restauração de Mata Atlântica, and we go to share with us her experience in Brazil. I want to start with this question, like, could you tell us about your experience working with local communities in Brazil to restore the Atlantic forest, please?
Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank Marina Duarte for inviting me and Pacto to be here, and also Mike for the contact during the weeks. And thank you, Restore, too, for this opportunity, for this moment of sharing experience and knowledge. Okay, so as Stefania said, I am Amanda Fernandes. I am project analyst at the Atlantic Forest Restoration Pact. So Pact is a movement, it is a sectorial initiative that articulates different actors that work to promote restoration and activities related to restore Atlantic Forest in Brazil. So this movement has more than 300 members between NGOs, public and private organizations. Tell you more about my experience. So I started working with local communities in my bachelor degree 9 years ago, but more focused in ethnopedology, which I would like to understand local farmers' knowledge about the soil. But during the field works, I was very interested to understand why farmers increase, decrease, and maintain the native forest inside their farm, and if they also perceive benefits provided by forests or not. Especially because I was born in a farm. I was born in a rural community located in São Paulo state, and my dad is a small livestock. So I would like to know his perception too. And based on my curiosity, in my master research, I interviewed farmers in São Paulo state to answer my question. And most farmers reported that the main reasons to increase and maintain native forests are related to water provision, legislation compliance, but for those that decrease was related to government incentives, increased agriculture area, and owner income. Regarding to the benefits perceived, farmers reported more benefits also related to water resources. So farmers perceive a lot benefits related with water, especially springs conservation, cool weather, shade. But in our research, one point with farmers, one point very, very important was related with the perceptions about food production and carbon sequestration, because just 1% of interviewed farmers perceived those benefits. And we need attention in these points, especially now that we talk a lot about carbon market, right? And recently, I am collaborating with a project that tests incentives based on local communities' land use decision to cultivate land and or conserve forests in their farm. So in this collaboration, our group had the opportunity to work with the small farmers, settles, and quilombolas communities in São Paulo. And now talking more about Pacto, we are organizing an indigenous people meeting to understand their experience and knowledge with the restoration and share learnings. This event will also happen this year in the beginning of July. So today I can say that my experience with local communities, it's more related with small farmers in Brazil, because in Brazil, so Brazil is a huge country, and here we have this categorization between small, medium, and large farmers. So yeah, I had experience with farmers.
Thank you so much for your answer, Amanda. And I think it's really important to work with the local community and especially farms like you tell us. So thank you so much for share that with us. And my next question for you is, what challenges and opportunities do you find in promoting gender balance?
Okay. So this is a great question, actually. Thinking about challenges, we can point here that there is a challenge, guarantee gender equity in the jobs opportunities, promote gender and racial diversity. It is also a challenge promoting care networks so that women can work, because most of them have children and do not have a comprehensive support network. Okay, the other point is to promote systems that prioritize women in the position in the top of the chain. So it is very important because nowadays we have more opportunity to study, to study a bachelor, master, and also a PhD most part of the time. So we need to promote system that prioritize women in position at the top of the chain. So in Latin America, for example, especially in Brazil, there is this unconscious bias that will not be possible do other family occupations, a vision of an imbalance in the incapacity for opportunities for women. So yes, we can, but we need more opportunities to occupy those spaces and opportunities.
Thank you so much, Amanda. My last question for you is if you could share how you engage with local communities, especially women, in your restoration initiative.
Okay. Can you repeat again this question, please?
Could you also share how you engage local communities, especially women, in your restoration initiatives?
Okay. So forest landscape restoration is a challenge that must be embraced by everyone without distinction. So creating a spatial condition for women's participation and accepting their opinions is a challenge too, as I already mentioned before. So we need to know how to value them and bring them together to engage people in this process. So based in this reflection, the Pacto movement created the Diversity and Gender Working Group, currently called the Social and Gender Task Force, led by Ludmila Pugliese, one of the former coordinators of the movement, together with Elena Carrascosa. So Pacto this year is 15 years old. And during this 15 years old, Pacto had two women coordinator, Ludmila Pugliese and Elena Carrascosa. In the Pacto, we said that the coordinator council, which is made up by 46% of women participation, we have women participating and making decision and making decision in the work groups, task forces, are always balanced in the number of men and the women. Although the issue of racial diversity is still a challenge also in Pacto, but we promote knowledge about the topics such as booklets, social media content, podcasts, and other materials that address this gender issue at the Pacto Restoration. So if you want to have access of those documents, you can access the QR code here on my screen, and you can see all the social media related to Pacto. I'm sorry because we apologize because they are in Portuguese, but I guess you can also try to translate to your language. And recently, in March, the month of the commemorative International Women's Day, different materials were prepared and posted on the Pacto social media, reflecting the women's participation in the movement. These initiatives, they are very important, and we have to keep doing them all the time without it is necessary being Women's Month or a particular commemoration. And thinking about this collaboration and the woman involvement at Pacto, I would like to thank Ludmila Pugliese, Luisa Toller, and all people that participate of the Social and Gender Pact Force to share their experience with me about this issue.
Okay, thank you so much, Amanda. I have the last question now. This is a personal one. I want to know is what is the best part of being able to promote gender balance in your work? What is the best part?
The best part to promote.
Yeah, what do you like more about this?
Mm-hmm. Okay, actually, there are a lot of parts that I like, but especially because we can share experience with women and also with men. Because I mean, we don't just discuss between women; we also discuss between men in this movement. So we can try to learn with each experience, right? So for me, this is one of the best part, because when we take decision, we try to understand what the men in that group think about it, and they also ask us about our opinion. So for me, this is one of the best part, and I'm learning every single day.
Okay, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing with us your insights. Well, I think the other presenter is not here, Chochi.
Stefania, sorry, Chochi just wrote there was a confusion with time. I don't know, maybe she will come in some minutes, but there are many questions on the chat for Amanda. Maybe we can work on them until Chochi is here.
Okay, great. Thank you, Marina. So I don't know if you can help me with the questions from Amanda, please.
Yeah, let's see. Mick, if you've seen any interesting question, please jump in. But yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. No, did you have one in mind already, Marina?
The first one was Keo. Is it your name? Sorry if I misspelled it. But she's asking if you applied standardized forms to interview farmers in your research, Amanda.
Yes, so in my master research, we develop a semi-structured questionnaire. So we did a pilot first, and after that, when we defined all the questions, we interviewed 90 farmers. Yeah, but based in this pilot.
Thank you. Yeah, there is maybe, I thought also could be interesting to go one step back. We had Baraji and Sole asking about the scope of Pacto. So would it be possible to maybe clarify what are your key focus areas and perhaps also where it's coming from as an initiative and what your main focus is today?
Yeah, the question, the question's more related to tell more about Pact movement.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, okay. So Pacto is a movement created 15 years ago, and the main aim is to articulate the actors. And when we talk actors, we are putting together NGOs, private and public organizations that have actions to restore the Atlantic forest. So the movement is also organized in 16 regional unities that we call regional unities across the Atlantic forest region. And those organizations, they make restoration. So they are involved to restore degraded lands in an area in the Atlantic forest. So we as Pacto, we articulate all the actors. So we have trainings and we have several meetings during the month to understand their difficulties and also their project, and see how we as Pacto can help, can collaborate. So, and all the people that, and all the actors that participate of Pacto, they are volunteers. So, today, for example, so nowadays, for example, the currently coordinator, Pacto coordinator, he works at TNC, the Nature Conservancy, but he dedicates part of his time to coordinate the Pacto activities also.
Great, thank you. I think that's good context and super important articulation and engagement of so many different actors in such a vast ecosystem and challenge, right? We have some more questions. Marina, I think you can just give us a sign if you notice Chochi entering, but otherwise, maybe.
Yeah, I will let you know. She told me she'll be here in 5 minutes.
Okay. So, one question around the main energy source used at family scale in terms of food. So what is the main source of energy used for food preparation in the area where Pacto is working?
Can you repeat again the question, please?
Yeah, so I think it's what's the main fuel that is used to cook in the region where Pacto is active.
The main food. So actually, you mean crop, like cultivation and because you said food.
It says main source of energy. Nelson, maybe you can clarify your question if you're hearing this. Would it be something to prepare food or a type of food specifically? Sure.
Nelson, you're on mute.
Thank you, Ligia, for jumping in.
You hear?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the the local community, are they using charcoal or any other kind of fuel for making food?
Yeah, I think it's relating to the fuel, Amanda. I'm not sure you have this. If you can share a bit about that, how food is prepared.
Ah, okay. Okay, so yeah, actually, we need to okay, how? Yeah, okay. So when we think about the Atlantic Forest region in Brazil, we so this ecosystem we can find in the northeast of the country to the south. So all the coast is supposed to be Atlantic forest, but now have some fragments of this forest. So it's depend a lot, but I think most part of the region, when we can find the Atlantic forest, they use I mean, they are developed areas. So they use I mean, fire stove. I mean, to cook.
Yeah, gas from
Yeah.
petroleum. I think it's the most
Exactly.
common, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Marina.
You're welcome. Yeah, but maybe we can add that in some rural areas they use wood to make
Yeah.
fires. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, but just in some cases, like for example, as I said in the beginning, I was born in a rural community, and today, for example, it's a bit cold here in our region, so my mom decided to prepare to prepare our lunch using wood, and not the normal stove. So yeah, we can say that this part of Brazil, it's more developed, so people use a normal stove to prepare food. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question, but I mean, you can also access this QR code here on the screen, and you can see more information about the Atlantic Forest location, and maybe you can understand more what I'm trying to explain here.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing with us these questions. And now here is Chochi, so we can start with her. It is, right?
Yeah, she's here.
I'm really sorry I was late. I'm Chochi Iturralde. I'm the co-founder of the program Humans for Abundance, and we do restoration in the Amazon rainforest as well of Ecuador, and also in the Andes Mountains. We work with indigenous communities who used to do monoculture crops and timber extraction, and now they're turning around their farms to plant diverse native plants and food crops. We've been doing this for the last 4 years, and we've been learning a lot in this process. So thank you for inviting. And
Thank
I don't
you
know
for
if you
being here, Chachi. Okay, we can start with some questions we have for you. My first question for you is, could you share with us about your work with Pachai Sana and Humans for Abundance?
So yeah, we started this work because we saw the problems that we have in this country, and I know that they also expand to Colombia, Peru, and other countries in Latin America, right? Where poverty and lack of access to education and many other resources just push communities into extraction, right? That's the dominant system. The only trucks that come to the communities are the naranjilla trucks, for example, which is a monoculture fruit, tropical fruit, or the other buyers are the timber buyers. So these are the only two things that they have access to, and the only ways to make money. So we started thinking about how else can they make a living, the people in the communities who live in these key ecosystems with old growth trees. How else can they make a living? So we started looking for ways for them to kind of provide a service as restorers to the world. So we came with incentives, with monetary incentives at the beginning, that we found the money to, we raised the money to pay them at the beginning, and then we turned them into restorers in their minds and in their hearts. So with the monetary incentives, we started doing education, and we use arts and theater for the oppressed, and all those techniques for pedagogy. And that's what really was transforming for them. And then it's taking us a few years to transform and to really convince them, or they've seen the results and the benefits of becoming a restorer, and also eating better, having organic plants that they plant themselves, and more diversity. So they get less sick, and they're happier. Their youth are staying in the community because it's just a new economic activity that they're so proud to do, and they feel like entrepreneurs, that they're doing something for the world. So this was our approach, kind of turning it into restorers and making them feel that they're making money or making an income from a very worthy activity. So yeah, the challenges are finding those monetary incentives or the funds to provide the monetary incentives. So we kind of gave them a name of eco actions, and we sell the eco actions in our website. Kind of say, if a person from Canada wanted to buy or restore the Amazon rainforest, and they can buy the eco actions from these people. So that's how we've been funding the restoration. And it has had its challenges for sure, but we're there.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us that. And my second question is, how will you describe gender dynamics in your field of work and the territory?
Yeah, um, it's been a wild ride, I would say, because in indigenous communities here in Ecuador, in rural communities, well, I would say in the whole country, it doesn't matter if city or urban or in the rural communities, the gender dynamics are still very disparate. So with men have a lot of the say in the decision-making positions, uh, but because we do this transformative education through theater, we give a voice to the women through their bodies, right? If they're not allowed to speak in their community, they're allowed to act it out in a scene, right? Because we make them build, for example, a vision of the future. What is it that they want for the future? And so everybody participates, and even if the women are really quiet, voicing out their thoughts, they are really good at showing what they want in a scene, like for example educating children, right? So they want an education, so they can build a scene and say we want our kids to be educated, and the men could see that in the scene with theater. So I think the arts have been a wonderful tool to give a voice and to empower those women who were afraid to speak at the beginning, right? And who've taken more leadership roles as they become more confident in these processes, in these art processes. So that's been the secret recipe for us and changing the community. So the men see basically the opinion of the women, and they see the wisdom, and they just take that into consideration in the decision making. So in the end, the men in these communities end up deciding, or at least at the beginning, that's what happened. But now that has changed, and now, for example, in the community that we work with, a woman, a warmi, as we call him in Quechua, has been elected president of the whole community for the first time ever. So, and this is because she's been empowered and she offered herself to be the leader. And then the community was ready because of these processes, these 4 years, which have been very, very time consuming, I would say, because we've had to go to the community and accompany and celebrate like every month, right? It's not like you start at work in the community and you say, okay, you are restorers, go, we're going to pay you to plant trees, and then you leave, right, and come back in a year or whatever and monitor on a satellite or whatever. No, it's just going every month or every few weeks to say, okay, the work you're doing is great. It's showing in the tree, and like bringing these moments of art and communication that are different, and building a relationship has been like the key. So after building a relationship, little by little, then the transformation happens. So that's been my experience. But yeah, a lot of disparity that we've had to fight through
Well,
in creative ways.
It's a wonderful listening this, how education and a strong relationship with the community can change a lot of things, right? So thank you for all your work in the field with them. My last question for you is, could you share some examples of how Humans for Abundance is empowering women and vulnerable communities in the ecosystem restoration?
So we definitely look for communities who are willing to restore their lands, who are kind of tired of the dominant system where they're losing and they're always, maintaining their lack, the situation of lack, because it's timber extraction or monocrops is never giving them any resources. So we've looked for these communities who really want to change, and then they're willing to work with women and the children and the youth, the girls as well. So the way we empower them is by actually assigning them leadership positions. Like, so we ask them to switch and to actually elect women as leaders. And then we also, with the education aspect of it, as I was telling you before, we give a voice. We try for all the women to have a voice in the process, even the shyest ones or the ones who don't even speak Spanish, because we do the workshops in Spanish because we don't know Quechua, right? And then lastly, we are bringing kind of hacking the education system. So we're bringing the school to their community. It's kind of like a virtual or homeschooling process that we're creating, because usually in these rural communities, they have to leave to go to high school if they wanted to go to high school, right? And usually the women don't leave the community, they just stay, they get married, and they have kids at the age of 14 still in Ecuador. So by bringing the school to the community, by bringing the home schooling system, we're educating the girls and creating leadership programs for them, and bringing them out of the community for them to see, for example, other communities or what they're doing in other restoration sites, and what they're doing, what the problems that are happening, for example, with the oil extraction. So they open their eyes and start becoming, you know, more aware of what's going on in the country and become leaders. So again, we're focused on education a lot, and that's been the key. And it's been challenging to bring the school to them, to their community, because it's far away, and we need to, you know, work with the Ministry of Education and kind of hack the system with a private school in Quito here in the capital city by, you know, making an alliance so that they can give the transcripts and the diplomas. So it's been a lot of moving and acting as a bridge to bring the resources that they need, but very much focused on creating those leaders from a young age. So all those strategies that we've been using.
Okay, thank you so much, Chochi, for sharing that with us and for shedding light on your impactful work. It's awesome, all the things you are doing in Ecuador. Now, thank you both of you, Amanda and Chochi, for sharing your inspiring work today. It's really nice to listen your histories and your work here and showing the criteria role of women in the ecosystem restoration efforts around the world. I think we don't have time for questions already, or we go to maybe one.
Maybe we can just see, yes, if somebody wants to raise hand. Anna, please, anything pressing? Yeah, Anna.
Yes, good morning. So I have a question to Amanda. I live here in Rio, in Brazil, and I have a question about the restoration in the forest Mata Atlântica that is located in the city itself here in Rio. You know, the forest and the city is very close. You know, so how works the restoration when the forests have, you know, houses, and those areas are like not very preserved? So how works this restoration?
Hi, Anna. Thank you for your question. So, if I understood well, you asked how Pacto do to restore the areas, or
Yes, exactly. Mainly in the areas that have, you know, houses and people's living there, because I don't know, like areas that is not being preserved, but compounds the Mata Atlântica, you know? So how Pacto do
okay.
this?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so actually, as Pacto, we don't do restoration, you know, so we articulate organizations that they do restoration on the field. So if I understood their question, you are a bit worried with that area that they provide a risk for the people that live there, and this area they need to be restored, right? So it's depend of each state and region. There are some organizations that they promote restoration on the field. So they go there and they study the area, and if it's possible, they restore the area. But of course, it's not possible to move those people from that region without authorization, you know. So it's depend of each situation. They can restore or not. But for example, talking aspecto,
Oh, yeah.
we don't go there and restore that area, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So real, we passed almost the time we're planning for the meeting today, so we only have time for one more question from Ligia, please.
Hello. Thank you for your presentations today, both you and Amanda and Chochi. It was very interesting. I guess I'll finish with my question for Chochi. What were the main challenges you faced when transitioning this power, this leadership towards women in your communities in Ecuador?
Well, the main challenges, as always, were giving them a voice. So the men usually take the stand. They usually speak first, and it's in their culture. It's so much in their culture that they are not the ones who are allowed to speak. So we would ask like a question, or we would do, you know, an exercise, and the women just like look at the men for permission even, and like should I answer this? And the biggest challenge was in the past, because they didn't go to school. The women were not allowed to go to school where the men did go to school. So the women did not speak the dominant language that we have here, which is Spanish. So most of the women speak in Quechua still, and they don't understand the processes or the training, whatever, in regenerative agriculture. It was hard, so we had to translate for them a lot. So it was a barrier of communication, and also of this culture, just breaking the barrier of what they've been taught to do by the same community. But historically, it was not like that, in my understanding. The Quechua people were not, based on the men doing all the decisions. It was very, very balanced. And then, from what I learned, the dominant culture of colonization kind of put that into them, like they should be quiet and the men should do all the decisions, and they learned that. So kind of breaking that colonization mindset was the biggest challenge. And as I said before, the theater was what did it. It was theater and the arts and drawing and expressing opinions in a different language, right, which is my body, and my drawings was the key. So the men could see that they also had a voice, they also had ideas, they also wanted some changes that they were not listening to, and not giving opportunities for the women to speak those ideas. And so yeah, those were the biggest challenges for sure. I guess the approach was to do it in a fun way, laughing and creating relationships for the men also to relax and kind of break that barrier, without having to give up their their authority or whatever it was, because that's also hard. So it's a very psychological process for sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thank you so much for the question from Sushi, Amanda. We are on time, so if you want to stay with us 5 minutes more, we really appreciate that. For finish, thank you so much, Chochi and Amanda, the humans from Bundes a Pacto para a Restauração de Mata Atlântica, for highlighting the importance of the community driving initiative and stakeholder engagement in achieve lasting outcomes. As we grow up, let's remember the impact that organizations like yours have on not only of restoration ecosystems, but also empowering local communities and promoting gender equality within environment work. So thank you so so much for that. And thank you all for joining us today. Today we meet two wonderful women from organizations that are part of the restaurant community, like a lot of you here. On the platform, there are hundreds of thousands of initiatives with other incredible stories. We would like to quick introduce how to use Restore to benefit from the new connections, the scientific data, and hopefully listen to your histories too here in the community's webinar. So we can go to show you a demonstration. Mike, you can help us with that, please. And again, thank you so much for stay here and share this hour with us.
Hello everyone, welcome to Restore. To access Restore, you can go to www.restore.eco on your browser. Signing up for an account will give you the best experience out of Restore. You can sign in using a Google account or any other email address you have. Once you are signed in, you can start exploring. This is our landing page. Restore is available in 7 languages. You can change the language by clicking the 3 lines on the upper right hand side. On the right side, you can see toggles for data layers, map settings, and other features which can help you explore the map. We are now exploring the sites, which can be the areas of restoration, conservation, and sustainable land use initiatives. I'll take you to one of my favorite restoration sites. This is a site profile of a mangrove restoration initiative in Indonesia. The site profile contains information about the initiative, such as the name, organization, photos of the sites and activities, and contact information that can be shared through various social media platforms. And you can also embed your site on Restore to your own website by copying this code and pasting it to your website script. The site profile will also contain auto-generated scientific insights based on the best scientific publications and global dataset available. Here, you can see the data for biodiversity, tree, shrub, and herb species, carbon storage in above and below ground biomass as well as soil, net primary productivity, land and tree cover, and UVI, water, and other environmental metrics. On the About tab, you can see a more detailed description about the initiative, including when the initiative started, what goals they have, what kind of support they need, and also a button to get direction on Google Maps. Restore also allows you to co-manage the sites, and on this Connection tab, you can see the people and organizations who are involved in this initiative, allowing collaboration and better connectivity. One of the most powerful features on Restore, beside the scientific data, is the 2 high-resolution imagery that can be accessed directly on the map. Restore hosts the Esri Wayback that is available globally on 50 to 30 cm resolution, and Planet Nikvi that is available biannually for tropical areas with 4.8 meter resolution. Using this feature, you can visually track how the lands change over time and showcase your restoration and conservation impact. Another exciting feature is you can visualize the data layers on the map and put it side by side with the graph to better understand about the impacts. Now I will show you how to add a site. Adding a site to Restore is quite straightforward. You can click Add to Map, New Site, and you have 2 options. You can upload your geofile using these formats, or, just like what I'm doing here, you can click to directly form the boundary on the map. When you are done, you can click Analyze Area to get the preview of the scientific insights, and then you can click Save as a Site. You will be directed to a few pages to fill in information about your initiatives. You can add descriptions, photos, and at the end of this process, you can publish the site and access it anytime on the map. Besides sites, Restore can also host point of interest, which are point location of activities such as tree nurseries, botanical garden, offices, educational center, and many others. Restore also allows you to manage sites into collections, which are theme folder of public sites. You can add any public site into a collection on Restore. Beside organizing sites into collections, you can also link your site, point of interest, and collections into an organization profile. By having an organization profile, you will be able to showcase your portfolio to get better visibility and connectivity. In the future, we are planning to release aggregated insights, which allows organizations to measure impacts across their portfolio using the collection feature. Restore also wants to connect implementers on the ground to funding. You can access the funding opportunity page on Restore, find the suitable one according to your region and goals, and see more details on how to apply. Please look forward to our upcoming updates. You can check the latest update through our notification button. If you need any support, don't hesitate to access our support page or send us a message. Happy restoring!
Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing the demo. And again, thank you so much, all of you, for being here, for attending the webinar, and hopefully we can see you again really soon. Have a nice day, night, afternoon. Depends of the place you are.